Welcome to Oktoberfest 2021. Won't you join us?
How did I fix that?
I don't think I believe you.
Welcome back to the Project Gen X podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Alan Smith, along with...
The other guy, Big Dave.
And on this episode of Oktoberfest, we are going to be talking about the 2015 movie, VVitch. I just have to say it that way. I know it's The Witch.
The Witch.
But them spelling it with the two V's, I'm like, it's funny. It sounds nicer to say The Vitch. So
sure, whatever floats your boat, my friend.
So the Witch was released in 2015. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy, which I will watch her do anything. I'm really looking forward to that new movie that Last Night in Soho. Have you seen the
No,
trailer?
I haven't seen the previews for this yet.
It's what's his name that did Scott Pilgrim and did
okay.
Shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Edgar Wright.
Yes.
And it's apparently a time travel / horror movie. And it looks really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's got Anya Taylor-Joy.
And we're not even 3 minutes in, and you've already derailed the whole conversation.
And you're already thinking about something else, you know? It's like, but like I said, I'll watch Anya Taylor-Joy do just about it. Like I said, she was the best part of the New Mutants. I
agree.
mean, I agree. She is Ilyana Rasputin.
Cannot disagree with that.
It also stars Ralph Ineson. How do you pronounce his name? I don't know.
It's
Kate Dickie and Harvey Scrimshaw, and then those two little evil twin children that actually, I guess they're not actually twins in real life.
No, but they are definitely evil.
Ellie Granger and Lucas Dawson.
Yeah, they're
Mercy and Jones. Yeah, that's a Mercy. You want to talk about the language?
Yeah.
Mercy.
So because I've already forgotten, when was this movie supposedly based in? It was obviously colonial times.
1630s.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at the IMDb here of it. It's in New England. It starts off with this family being kicked out of the settlement, basically.
No, they were in a courtroom being judged because they're not towing the village line.
Well, they apparently, because it's such a strange. This movie is
okay. Let's go there. This is an A24 film.
It is an A24 film, and A24 has a very specific style that they do.
You can tell that this is
sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's Midsommar. And I hate. Look, I know we try to keep this as family as possible.
Oh, no, here we go.
Fuck that movie, okay?
Fuck
that movie and everything that movie is trying to put across,
easy,
all right?
big guy.
That movie is sucking its own dick for an entire 2.5 hours, okay?
Wow, okay.
And the thing is, again, I love what's her name, Florence Pugh, that's in that movie again. But that movie is so far up its own ass, it's not even funny. Like it can't. Matter of fact, it can't smell anything except for its own shit. It's so far up its ass. Okay, and I'll put an explicit tag on this.
I just want to go ahead and apologize now for my co-host there. He's obviously had too much coffee, and
I have very strong feelings about Midsommar. I will never get that 2.5 hours of my life back, no matter how hard I try.
Wow.
I mean, that just... How did you like the movie? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so A24 is obviously...
Yeah, back to A24.
is obviously a film company. They call themselves a film company. They're obviously very much into making films from a filmmaker's perspective, because the cinematography is beautiful, the lighting is beautiful, the editing is beautiful.
The acting is usually pretty good.
The acting is actually really good, but these are legitimate films where it feels like you kind of have to work to watch it. It's not a Marvel movie.
No, and you are correct.
It's definitely not a Michael Bay movie.
No, you are correct on everything you just said there. And like I said, and I know I was really harsh on Midsommar, but it is that type of like, seriously, just get on with it. You know, they love these. A24 loves to have
they are
these
a filmmaker's film company.
They love to have these long panning shots of
they
that
do
are
a lot
very
of
atmospheric, and you know, and like, okay, and it's fine. But the thing is once you get to about the third or fourth one in the first half hour of the movie, it's like, seriously, start this on now.
Well, no, it's a film company for filmmakers that are making films for filmmakers.
Yes.
I don't necessarily consider myself a filmmaker, but because I have some background in that industry, I very much have an appreciation for what it is they're creating. And I kind of have to throw the Nicolas Cage movie Pig in with that type of filmmaking a little bit.
That
because
was for you, John, if you're listening.
John, yeah. I ended up loving that movie.
I know you did.
And
I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it.
And it has a lot of the same styling, a lot
Don't
of
know
the
that
same...
it's film of the year, but... You know,
I wouldn't say film of the year either, but it's a dang good movie.
It is a good movie.
But
I suggest watch it if you haven't seen it.
But it has a lot of the same filmmaking stylistic type things in it.
There's a lot of quiet in A24 movies.
Yeah,
I mean,
they actually give the film space to breathe, and in those spaces is where some of the anxiety is built. Because in the world that we live in now, there's no such thing as quiet or settle or any of that.
Have you seen Hereditary?
No, I don't believe so.
If you're ever just feeling like I need to be kicked in the dick a couple of times, watch that movie.
You're on a roll today.
Because it's
what happened to your Wheaties this morning?
I really enjoyed Hereditary. I will never watch that movie again. Okay, it's one of those movies where it's like, no, I really like. I had heard almost nothing about it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden I started seeing these reviews and people were like, man, this is really like unsettling, and that's the best way to put that movie. It's unsettling. You know, it's not a bunch of jump scares. It's not a, you know, it's like, no. They do with the way that they build tension in that movie. It's very anxiety inducing.
Sure.
And it's one of those things, like I said, it's just unsettling. And it has some really like jarring things that happen in it where it's like, oh, I cannot believe they just did that type stuff. And anyone who has seen Hereditary and doesn't like it, I understand completely.
Sure.
But I really, like I said, it's one of the good movie. I will never watch it again. I mean, it's just one of those like, no, I can't. And so it's one of those. That's another A24. The Green Knight was just released this summer.
I really wanted to watch that one until I heard people start talking about it, and I was like,
I went and saw it because I kind of have a thing for Arthurian legends.
Oh, who doesn't?
And of course the whole, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, we all read it. We all saw them. I remember going to the National Children's Theater and seeing a stage production of it.
Sure.
I remember like all kinds, and like I've always kind of liked that movie. They have a take on it, okay? And it's a little confusing at times. It doesn't follow the story 100% of the way that we've read it over the years.
Yeah.
But I'm fine with it. But there is a lot of these beautiful panning shots across countrysides and the way that they do, and I know we're not even talking about the VVitch at this point, but this all comes into
You've got to remember that this is all coming out of the same studio.
Exactly, and they have a style, and this was really what started it all. Was this movie, and but I again with
Ex Machina.
Oh, did they do Ex Machina?
Yeah,
I've never seen Ex Machina, so it's I've heard good things about it, but I've never seen
Ex Machina
the movie.
is one of theirs.
But just so going through that Ex Machina and Hereditary and The Witch and The Green Knight and Hereditary or Midsommar, like those are all very specific movies, and they love doing it. And they've got another one coming out this month called Lamb, Lamb, that I'm not going to watch it. I can go ahead and tell you that right now. But even just from the trailer for it might be the most A24 thing you've ever seen.
Oh, I'm going to have to go. Do me a favor, put a link to the show notes on that because I'm going to have to go watch that.
So, I mean, literally, it may be the most A24 thing that you have ever seen. So, anyways, to the witch. So it's like you say, 1630s. That they come over because they talk about being in England before. They've come over to the New World. They're in in New England, and so the father here apparently is very, very hardcore fundamentalist.
Yes.
And he's not jiving with this New World religion, that's a little more quote unquote lax. We wouldn't think it was lax, but compared from what they just came for is lax as far as what they believe and what they practice. And so,
but he's very much more fundamentalist,
right? And so they basically tell him, you either change or you have to leave.
And he goes, well, I guess we'll leave.
Yeah,
then.
and so they
pack
take
up
off,
the wagon and they go and they travel until they find him a new flat place of land close to a water source and some woods for hunting, and they set up shop.
Yes,
and it's the mother and the father and the older daughter and the middle son,
the two twins, and then they have a baby.
Yep.
This movie really kicks off when, what is her character's name? Thomason. It's, Anya Taylor-Joy. She takes the baby.
Yeah.
And she goes over to the edge of near the woods.
Yep.
And she's playing peekaboo with him.
Yep.
And she closes her eyes one time and she opens them and he's gone.
The baby's gone. And we're talking about a baby that cannot crawl.
No. This is maybe 4 or 5 months old.
Right.
Maybe. And the only glimpse that we get is she looks up in the woods and you see the grass move just a little bit.
Yeah.
Which suggests that literally it's one of those things that happens in a second of just literally closing her eyes and then going boo, and the baby's gone.
Yep.
So it's one of those of course, the first thing that in my mind goes to is it's a wolf or something. I mean that to come in that fast, grab and go.
Yeah, but you would have
heard rustling.
You would have heard rustling or
baby crying.
Yeah, exactly. Because the second those jaws bit down the baby, it would have been an instant howl.
Yeah,
but there's nothing.
Right, and it's just and again, it's very the way that they film it because there's not. I don't know, is there even any music in this other than the traveling at the beginning?
I don't remember.
I don't think that there is.
There might be,
which is unsettling in and of itself because it puts you in a very real place, which is kind of cool.
Let's be honest. Fear isn't Jason Voorhees in a mask and a machete killing you.
No.
Fear and anxiety are built in these small, quiet places of your life.
Right.
Because in those spaces are where your mind opens itself up and goes, oh, but what if this happened?
So apparently we're getting a glimpse into the way Dave's mind works
no,
right now.
Not really.
This was what gives Dave anxiety and fear. This is how
Not really.
You realize you're coming to a therapy session?
No, not really.
I know.
But if you actually start going and looking at the psychology of some of this stuff,
absolutely.
That
and that's one of the things that I do like about the way that with Hereditary and this movie, the way that they build some of that stuff is. It's not these big string swells or these jump scares or what. It's there's a lot of, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Because there is that question here because when they go and they set up, and they're farming corn and and then they're trying to catch rabbits and all this kind of stuff.
They're basically trying to keep their homestead alive.
Yeah, pretty
at
much.
This point.
But it's one of those things that there is a point where they're going through and there's rot in the corn.
Yeah.
Which, there's been suggestions over the years that there might have been, with the whole Salem witch stuff, the reason that people believe a lot of it is that one theory is that the ergot, which is basically a mold that would get into the bread, which can cause hallucinations and paranoia and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of with the rot. It's is this really happening, or is this psychosis caused by, there is a rabbit that appears when the dad and the son go hunting, and they take a shot and the gun backfires, and it's one of those things where the rabbit shows up again later, and it's very ominous.
And honestly, that's a nice callback to the Bell Witch story.
Yes, it very much is.
Because, I mean, that's almost a direct, because there was always this rabbit-shaped beast that kept showing up in the woods that would show up right before,
now,
Kate would show up.
The other thing is that we actually see the witch in this
at one point
with the baby. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh look, apparently this actually happened.
Yep.
But did it? I mean, there's a lot of that. And then there's the Black Phillip of it all.
Yes.
Which Black Phillip is their goat that they have,
which is a black
horned goat that the twins
actually are talking to, and
keep saying that it's talking to them, you know, and stuff. And they do this song, Black Phillip, they're all this kind of stuff. And it really is this kind of unsettling. Is this goat actually Satan, or is this goat just the kids are playing or the kids are being imaginative?
Yeah. And how quickly the witch accusations come from the twins.
Immediately. And that's the whole thing, is that Mercy, after of course, the family's torn up by losing the baby, and they...
Well, Mercy is going around going, I'm the witch of the woods.
Yeah, I know. And she's like, and it's one of those things where she's like, and she's throwing accusations at Thomason.
Yeah.
And then Thomason, like, goes right back at her with, like, oh, yeah, I am the witch. I did, basically, and it's scaring Mercy, and it's one of those, it's such a... They did their research on this, because there are elements of this. I remember reading The Crucible, and there are elements of this with, like, especially at the end, whenever they quote unquote fall into a coma, because being around the witch and all. There's all this stuff that's like, again, is it real? Is it not? Is it whatever?
Well, then the father locks the twins in the barn with Tomlinson. And goes,
and
we'll
Black
find
Phillip.
And Black Phillip goes, well, we'll find out which of you are, actually the witches.
And of course, the mom's going crazy.
The mom went crazy when the baby left.
Disappeared. And she's having hallucinations of,
no, she completely lost her mind.
Yeah, and then the son goes off to
go hunting, or actually to go empty the traps.
To empty the traps, right? And he goes with Thomason, and then that rabbit shows up again.
Yep.
And he takes off after it, and then we see the witch again, because he winds up at the witch's house, and it's very Hansel and Gretel in a lot of ways.
Yes, very much.
There's not a candy house, but it's very much. He gets there, and there's this beautiful woman. He's starting to, and it's one of those things. Also, he's starting to get to that age where, like, there are several shots where he's looking at Thomason,
which is his sister.
But I'm not again. But it's still one of those things. Only other woman around. I guess I can get it. I don't know. But it's one of those things where he's starting to come into puberty. Basically, is what it is.
And he's noticing
he's noticing stuff, and then this very beautiful woman comes out of the cat
and seduces him and starts to kiss him.
Right.
And the second they lock lips, she turns into
the hag. I know, and it's really unsettling.
It really is.
It's. And then when Thomason, is talking to Mercy and Jones and asking, does Black Phillip actually talk to you? Like, she's trying to, like, and there is, because at this point, the son is kind of keep calling him the son. What did we say his name was?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Caleb comes back. He reappears after a couple of days.
Yes,
and he's completely out of his mind, and he's
sick.
And he vomits apples, like little small apples. And he's.
They weren't necessarily small either.
Well, yeah. Well, they weren't like full size.
No, they weren't. They weren't the big Washington Reds.
Right,
but they were.
But it's still one of those things where, again, it's really unsettling of what's going on here, and we get that thing where the mom has the dream where. The baby and Caleb are both back, and she's breastfeeding, and then it pulls back, and she's like laughing maniacally, and there is a crow that's pecking her breast, and it's like this really like bizarre, like what in the world, I want to talk about something else here. When everything goes to hell in the third act, okay?
Yeah.
And
Oh, that was the other thing. When Caleb went to go empty the traps, he took the one family horse with him.
Yes, and took Thomason with her.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't let him go by himself.
And they ended up losing the horse.
Right.
So they have no way to pull a wagon or get back to a village, or they're stranded at that point.
But when William, who's the father, when everything's going to hell, basically, it's one of those things. Him and Thomason get into a fight. And she basically says, "You brought this. That you don't know how to hunt. You don't know how to farm. You got us kicked out of the village.
Yeah.
And I'm like, kind of sitting there going, she ain't wrong. This is a family that has basically succumbed to the father's pride, is what it comes down to.
Yep.
He's so determined that he's right about everything that it winds up ruining the
pride cometh before the fall.
Exactly. Again, going back, and that there is a lot of biblical imagery and
well, there had to be in this setting.
Absolutely, especially in this time frame, and
right.
everything. Let's talk about the end of it real quickly, okay? Because I wanna. There's something here, okay? I didn't see this movie when it first was released, okay? I saw it a few years later, and I watched it on Netflix one night. And honestly, I think I really enjoyed laying in bed with the lights out, watching this on, I think I was watching it on my computer, on Netflix, either that or on the iPad, one of the two.
Sure.
And with the headphones, I was with the headphones in, and I think that was a better setting in a lot of ways of watching this movie than watching it in a theater, because it was like I'm laying here in complete darkness except for the screen light here that's small and all this really weird shit's happening, and it's like, oh man, but again, having not seen it in 2015, seeing it a few years later,
sure,
at the end of it, when Thomason makes her deal with the devil.
Yes.
Okay. And we never see the devil. We see him, we hear him, and we see him walk around behind him. We never see a face or anything. Yeah. Two things that jumped out at this is that the pledge that she has to make and everything. I was like, okay. What was funny is that I watched this movie right around the time that The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina came out. Those scenes are almost identical whenever she takes her vow.
Yeah.
Except for the fact you actually have like the horned god there, for that one, Lucifer. In this one, he's not horned. He's just a regular person. But it's still one of those things where like, wow, this is almost identical. Like scenes.
Well, it really begs to question how much research into the occult and these rites did they go into when they were making these things.
Sure, and that's the whole thing with like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, is that like they really
leaned heavy into
the
witchcraft and the occult and Satanism.
And I remember like watching, like really loving that movie and going like, wow, this is going to piss off some Christians. Like, this is hardcore leaning into this stuff, which is funny because they actually, the Church of Satan actually like sued them over the Baphomet
the statue, yeah.
And they came to an agreement for the second season, which is funny because they wound up destroying that statue in the second season, so it's like, we ain't got to deal with it any longer. But I thought it was really funny because having seen that movie Hail Satan, that documentary, and then being like, oh look, that's identical, that's the exact identical statue that they're trying to get put up in Arkansas.
Well, not just Arkansas, all over the place.
They had one in Detroit. They already have one in Detroit, but they were trying to. That was that whole movie. You've got to see Hail Satan. That documentary is like so good. It's so good.
It sounds like just a bunch of trolls.
It is. That honestly, the modern, like, it's a satanic temple. It's not the church. The Church of Satan with Anton LaVey.
Yeah.
This is a satanic temple, and it's one of those things where they're very much like, we don't believe in an actual Satan. We're just like anarchists, basically. It's like we don't recognize anyone's authority. You know, it's the you do what thou wilt.
Yeah, that's
you know,
a lot different from the Anton LaVey version of
you know,
it. Yeah.
But they are very much like they are the embodiment of like if internet trolls were like the embodiment of internet trolls.
You mean the fat 35-year-old living in his parents' basement, living strictly through a computer
something
troll?
like that. But they actually go out in real life and do stuff, and it's like, all right. Anyway, but that, and then also,
I mean, you end up. There turns out to not just be a witch. It turns out to be an entire coven.
Yes.
And they're full on doing coven activities when she shows up to do her pledge.
Yes. What was it that
he just picked the wrong set of woods to build up shop next to?
When Satan is enticing her, what is it? Do you want to live deliciously or something like? It's basically because there was a point earlier where like she's talking to Caleb when they're going out into the woods, and she's talking about, do you remember when we lived in England we had windows, and, you know, and this and that, and she mentions something about missing butter, like or you know, or sugar or something. It's stuff that you would get in a city that you're not going to get in the real world, that you're going to get back in civilization and everything. And so it's one of those things that's how Satan comes at her. Of do you want all that stuff back? You know, that's
if you want to get into all of that.
Oh, I know.
If you believe in that type of thing,
right.
Which, you know, we've discussed a lot of this.
We talked about
in the
it
past.
last year, yeah. Go back and check out our Satanic Panic episode.
I mean, that's how he's going to come at you.
Oh, yeah.
What's your weaknesses, what your wants,
the Bible
what your
says
needs.
that Satan appears as an angel of light. You know,
he also appears as a ferocious lion looking for those he may devour.
Oh, wow. Dave's going real hardcore theology on this here. So.
I'm just saying.
I know. It's a well, you know, that's the again. It goes back to they said that Lucifer was the most beautiful of the angels. Yeah. You know, and
sometimes the most beautiful flower is the most poisonous there is.
There you go. So yeah, we're getting deep now. Have to get the hip waders out here in a minute. So.
Buy a boat.
That's right. I thought that was a nice, interesting, you know, callback to the way that they're like, it's just like, no, you can live this way, you know, and that very again, it's a very A24 ending.
It is
the way that it is, because she walks naked through the woods, and then there's the coven, and like she walks up, and they're dancing around the fire and everything, and then they start floating, and that's the end of it.
Yep.
And again, it's one of those things.
It's one of those things where you go, "Oh, holy crap! This is real." And not only is this real, but they're levitating.
But is it? You know, that's the whole thing. Is that I remember I've seen this a few times. You know, so I rewatched it for this, but I've seen it ever since I watched it the first time. I've rewatched it a couple of times because, you know, I like to do that to myself every once in a while. And
we all do. We're all masochists.
Yeah,
at heart.
in some way. And so it's one of those things where I sit there and listen to or watch it, and I was like, I still can't definitively say that all of this happened exactly the way it's presented, because there's the madness of grief.
Yeah.
There's the madness of
loss.
But there's the madness of rot. There's the madness of malnutrition. There's the madness of fear. That's all in here that can explain every bit of it, and even to the point of it could have been a wolf that took the baby, you know, and because we're seeing this through Thomason's eyes. And so, is she a reliable narrator? You know,
those are good questions.
You know, the whole thing with Black Phillip is that this goat was obviously a wild goat. You know, that had been somewhat tamed because it winds up killing William at the end because it attacks him, and gores him. And it's one of those things like, yeah, goats will do that. You have to watch goats. I mean, that is I think I've told this story here before. My aunt and uncle had a goat when we were kids. And you could not turn your back on that damn thing, because I have seen that goat, like one of my cousins turn around to do something, and that goat get a full running start across the yard, and right headbutt straight into them. I mean, and it's just goats are just like that. They're ornery. It's like
goats are mean.
They are. They are very mean. There's a reason you want them around. people use them on farms a lot of times for to protect chickens and stuff. I mean, like that's that. Literally, they will.
Donkeys and goats will keep
donkeys,
coyotes,
goats, and roosters. All three of them will put themselves in peril to stop a predator.
Yeah.
I mean, without ever a second thought of it.
You have not lived until you've seen a donkey flat up curb stomp a coyote to death in a field, protecting the cattle it's in there with.
I haven't seen one curb stomp a donkey. I mean, a coyote to death, but I have seen them go after one before, and I mean, just like
donkeys hate coyotes or anything that looks like a dog, and they will they will stomp one to death.
Yeah. So, but again, like I said, getting back into it, all of this stuff can be kind of
is it or isn't it?
Is it or isn't it? Which I think is nice. I like that.
And then when you start mixing in the is it or isn't it in with these huge spaces of silence or low noise, it really kind of raises your anxiety.
And it also, this movie is really, really good at presenting that dichotomy of they're out in this wide open area and they're isolated.
Yep.
It's that whole we have all this freedom, but we're completely isolated from everything, and again, with Thomason asking, this is your fault, saying this is your fault, there is blame, it's resentment from the other members of the family, or we didn't ask for this, we first off didn't ask to come to the new world. We didn't ask to come to the new world, and then once we're here, we didn't ask to be,
isolated.
To be banished from the settlement, where we had security, where we had, whatever we needed, we didn't have to worry about whether or not we were going to eat or that kind of stuff. And so I really like this movie. I know
it once I got through it, once I kind of figured out what it was I was watching, I enjoyed it. But it's one of those movies, like any other A24 movie, you're going to have to sit down in the right mood and realize that you're going to have to work through this.
Yeah, this is not a, hey, I got some time at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's not a Michael Bay explosion every 1.3 seconds.
Right.
This is a sit down and think about it, and you might have to watch it twice to make sure that you completely understand what it is you're thinking about it type movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a working movie.
I agree with that. Thankfully, it's not Midsommar, so... You want me to go off on that again?
You just keep harping on it, and you're gonna have to let it go.
I hate that movie, man. That is. Anyway, so
you're gonna have to let it go.
I hate that
once again,
movie,
I apologize for his profanity-induced rant.
Sometimes regular words just don't fit the occasion, the vitriol that you have for something. There's another $10 word for you.
You've been spending a lot of money at the word store here lately.
It's funny because that new song that we're working on.
Yeah,
it's completely, but it goes along with that. The $10 word. I sent the lyrics to my friend Rebel. I was like, hey, I want to get your opinion on this. She's like, well, send me the lyrics first. I want to read it. And so she sat there and I sent them over to her, and she texted me back a little bit later. She's like, I like it. I can't help. I think they're good the way they are. I can't help you beyond this. I don't have the vocabulary for this word. I was like, yes, I used some $10 words in there.
Yes.
It's that private school education, I guess.
Either that or you found a thesaurus at the dollar store.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Oktoberfest. We are really enjoying doing this, and we've got more coming for you.
We've got one that we can't even record until the movie drops.
I know. We were going to do Halloween Kills. We talked about it. That we in our Oktoberfest episode, we talked about stuff coming up, and we're basically sitting around waiting for Halloween Kills to be released so we can record an episode on top. Well, obviously, we're looking forward to it. Have you seen the last trailer that they put out?
Yes, I did.
It looks.
Yes, I did.
I want to see this movie.
The fact that I ask off from work, I'm burning a vacation day so that we can go and watch this thing at the theater. Forget the fact that it's airing on Peacock.
Right.
No, we're going to the movie theater
to
watch this.
And I didn't even know about the Peacock thing until last night, I think it was. I saw something, and I was really? It's on Peacock?
As I sit here drinking out of my Michael Myers mug.
Dave's got the Michael Myers mug, and I have the Sam from Trick or Treat mug. So it's we're all in for Oktoberfest. So, guys, thank you so much. Go and check out the show notes. We will have links to all of our social media and Facebook, Instagram, Discord.
Come over and join us on Discord. And we're a lot of fun. We don't bite much.
Let us know what you think of the episodes, and if your questions, comments, if you want to take me to task for hating Midsommar so much, and you can
or if you just want to wash his mouth out with a bar of lava soap, feel free.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not. I would not have made it in Puritan. Puritanical New England.
You would have been burned as a witch.
Probably.
You would have been burned as a witch.
I would have definitely been the town crazy. Let's put it that's
and then burned as a witch.
Probably. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much. I am Alan Smith.
I'm the other guy, Big Dave.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.